Power to the truth. This is Margo. This is Saturday, April 20th, 2019, 7:07 p.m. Pacific Time, United States of America. So I hope everyone is having a good weekend. I've been cleaning all day. Not my favorite thing to do. So I'm a little hoarse from reacting to all the dust and crap. So we'll just muddle through. So I may have to clear my throat extra times or pause or get a drink of my tea, but we'll just muddle on through. So we're going to talk about the Oroville Dam and how you can track the rate of flow for yourself on the California Department of Water Resources website. I'm going to show you how to use that. Then we're going to go over some comments from my recent videos on my YouTube channel, and then we're going to work on earthquakes. We're going to look at earthquakes. So sit back, and it will be a little bit different report tonight. So if you recall, a couple of days ago I reported on this article from the Oroville News Live. They have a blog and they post stuff every day on their blog, but they put up all the latest about what's going on over at the dam and the spillway and everything. But I reported on this a couple of days ago that so a couple of days ago the water level in the Lake Oroville, which is a reservoir, was at 867 feet. Now it tops out at 901 feet. Now the dam itself is 777 feet high, but it's built up a little bit from ground level. Okay, so the water level, to top out over the top of the dam, it has to go to 901 feet. So the Sierra snowpack is more than 150% of average for this time of year. And it started to melt over there. They're expecting rain today and then warm and sunny tomorrow. So rain will melt the snow really fast, and warm and sunny will melt the snow really fast. They had opened the spillway for a few days, and then they closed it on April the 11th. And so they put out this press release about why they closed it, that they're just checking it, they've got inspectors over there and this and that, and that's what's going on over there. And they've got scaffolding and all this stuff so that people won't be alarmed, and the engineers are over there and performing inspections. Now over on YouTube and some other places, there have been some things put out about how the dam is in trouble, and I listen to those because I want to know what they say and what they think. And then Blanco Lirio put out a video debunking all of those guys, is calling them fake news and saying that he was going to report them and this and that. And so I sure don't want to get on his bad side. And so all I'm doing is reporting what I can see right here from officials, and you can make up your own mind. Blanco Lirio, aka One Brown, says that everything is fine and this and that, but I did a little research Oh, so here's that article. I will repost it in my show notes for today. And then from Oroville News Live for today, here's possible thunderstorms for today, Saturday, and dry and warm for Easter Sunday. So they're expecting thunderstorms for today, and the storms may produce small hail or heavy rain up to half an inch per hour at times. And so all the area in the green is possible thunderstorms. Now they've included Reno in those possible thunderstorms, and it's cloudy here today, but it's not raining. Cooler weather is forecast today as low pressure moves over the area. This will bring showers and thunderstorms to the region. For details, visit weather.gov, etc. They're on the Twitter. Dry and warm weather expected on Easter Sunday with plenty of sunshine for outdoor activities. Sunday forecast, the valley is going to be from 76 to 81 degrees. The foothills are going to be 64 to 78 degrees, and the mountains are going to be 55 to 68 degrees. So that snow is going to be melting, and it's going to be running off fast. And so there's that. So I'm going to leave links below. I'm going to pause the recording and get my show notes up and copy these in. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So what we have here, and I had to do a lot of searching to figure this out. I had seen these charts and these tables before in people's shows, but I couldn't figure out where they were, so I did a lot of research and found them. So I'm going to show you how to get to these tables so that you can be tracking the Oroville water level for yourself, because it's good to be proactive. So here it is. This is the California Data Exchange Center. It's cdec.water.ca.gov/index.html. That's the page I'm looking at. And if you go up to Query Tools, just hover over that, and then you can pick a single station, which is what we want. We want Oroville. You can click real time, and you can see by the hour what the flow rate is and the level of the reservoir and all that. You can click it daily and see it daily, and you can click monthly. So let's just click on real time, and then you got to put in a station, and if you put in the first 3 letters, it fills it out for you. So this is the Oroville Dam, and this is the hourly data for the Oroville Dam, and here's any announcements that they have up here. And here it is. Here it is at the latest. So this is April 20th, 2019 at 1900 hours or 7 p.m. The Oroville Dam is at 800. I'm writing this down. 870.61 feet. That's how high it is. That's in the lake. Alright. This is the storage AF. I'm assuming that's aquatic feet. So it's at 3,094,505 right now. And right before that, in the last hour, the outflow, which since the spillway is shut down, the water is being released through the gates where they have the Hyatt electric plant over there at the base of the dam. And so usually when that's running, it's about 10,000 CFS, that's cubic feet per second. So last hour it was flowing out at 9,733. Now the inflow, that's how much it's gaining. It was in the last hour was 17,685. So it's flowing in faster than it's flowing out, and it's been doing that for a long time. So we're at 870.61, and this morning, and if you want to look earlier today, like here at the beginning of April 20th at midnight, the water level was at 869.45. So if we get our calculator, so 870.76, that's where it's at right now, minus 869.45. It's gone up since midnight 1.31 feet. So now if you want to look at something else, you go back here, you go to Query Tools, or you don't even have to go back there, it's up at the top of the page, and you can go to Daily, and the end date is for today, and station is Oroville. Get data. So here it is for today, well, ending today. So here's the data as of yesterday. They were 869.45. That was at midnight. And they were at 3,077,876 aquatic feet. Alright, so it's gone up. It's obviously gone up since then. Now if we look back on the now here's the outflow, and it's been in the last few days 10,000. Here's 11,000 on April 11th when they shut down the spillway. Now here's where the spillway was open. It was the outflow was 21,607. That was on April the 8th. Here on the 7th it was 25,958. And the inflow was 21,888, so they let out more than came in. So for a few days, they were, well, a couple of days, they were letting out more than what was coming in. But even when that spillway was open, it was still releasing less than what was coming in. And if you look back through all of these days, and you can download this to an Excel file too. All of these days, they were releasing, here's through the Hyatt electric plant, much less than the inflow. So, so a month ago, on March the 21st, the lake level was at 841.71 feet. And it's at right now it's at 870. So it's gone up 30 feet in a month. In a month it's gone up 30 feet. So that's an average of a foot a day. But with the snowpack melting and them releasing, very little here, we've seen it go up as much as 2 feet a day here. And so, conservatively, so if we've got, now I'm just doing numbers, and I'm not a dam expert or a water expert or everything, but if we're doing numbers, and if we get up to 870, let's say we get up to 871 tonight by midnight, just make it easy. So the top of the dam is 901 minus 871. We've got 30 feet left before it tops over. So it gained 30 feet in the last month, even with them using the spillway, and even with them doing the Hyatt power plant. And it's before the big melt is starting. Although some people say, oh, it's just going to melt nice and easy, nice and gentle. Well, we'll see. I've got a bad feeling about this, and I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just saying I've had a bad feeling about this from the beginning, and I was watching this 2 years ago when it broke up, when that spillway broke up in February 2017, and I'm like, I've got a bad feeling. So I would not want to be living in that area, and I would definitely have my escape plan all planned out. I would have a place to go to. I would have my affairs in order. I would have my car packed, or my truck or trailer or whatever, and I'd be ready to get out of Dodge. That's what I would be if it were me. Because you saw last time they didn't tell anybody. They weren't going to tell anybody. And then the sheriff decided to evacuate. And if it hadn't been for the sheriff, who would have known? Nobody would have known. So if it goes up a foot a day, that's conservative. So by April 20th, it'll be topping out. If they don't release, they've got to release more than more than what's coming in. They've just got to. There's no two ways about it. They've got to release more than what's coming in. And they can't do it with just the power plant. They've got to use the spillway. I mean, that's just what it looks like to me. Now, so we got 30 feet left before it tops out, and there will be damage done to the dam way before it gets topping out, because this is an earthen dam and it's a whole thing. So let's say we've got 30 feet and it increases 1.5 feet a day, divided by 1.5. Then in 20 days it'll be topping out. So today's April 20th. We've got 10 more days left in this month, and then by May 10th. So by May 10th it could be topping out. I don't know. between three weeks to a month from now, we could be seeing a serious situation over here. Now another thing you can do is look at it monthly. Now this is interesting. And I'm just showing you data. That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing is showing you what's on the government website. And you can make up your own mind. So here it is, the storage, the AF. They don't have April on here yet, but we know that we're up to 3,094,505 right now. So last month it was at 2,849,000. Now it got down to, it looks like in November of last year it got down to 1,029,000. Now this time last year, at the end of March last year, they were at 2,093,000. But at the end of March this year, they were at 2,849,000. So they were a lot higher this time in March of this year than in March of last year. And at the end of April last year, they were at 2,432,000. And we're at 3,094,000 right now. So you can do the numbers and see, you can just see it, it's all right here. You can see it for yourself. The numbers don't lie. The last time it was this high was in May of 2016. It was 3,307,000. And at the end of April 2016, it was 3,399,000. At the end of March of 2016, it was 3,059,000. And that's about where we're at right now on April 20th. And so we can see historically that the highest months on this reservoir level are March, April, and May, and then they start going down. Historically, that's what it looks like. And you can keep going back. Here's 2015. Here's November 2015. It was under 1,929,000. That was during the drought. So there's that. So I just thought that was very interesting. So now you know how to track your water levels over at Oroville or any other dam in California. That's just one. That's just one. You could put in, there's one at Shasta. They're all over the place. You can look it up and get all the dams if you want to do that. But anyway, that's how you do it. And no one showed me that. I had to just figure it out for myself. So I hope you like that information. And I will be reporting on these water levels as things go on. I think it's going to be part of my normal reporting, because I think it's important. All I'm doing is showing the data. Okay, now we're going to go over here. Lead page, yes. And we're going to look at some of the recent comments. Okay, I'm going to pause. Hold on a second. Okay, I just that was a comment waiting. I just approved that. We'll go over that one too. There have been some good comments that have come in recently that I want to go over. The first one I want to go over was one left under my looking at the Libby mine collapse from USGS. Now this Teresa Karst apparently has never been to my YouTube channel before. So, but she left some good information, and I appreciate the information because I certainly don't know the area, and I was just speculating. And so, you know, thank you, Teresa, for bringing us some follow-up information that we can use. Hold on, I've got a phone call. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, Teresa Karst says, I want to correct false assumptions and errors in this video with no animosity and with all due respect. So, okay, well, I was just showing what I saw. She goes on, I have no idea what Margo's Healing Corner site is about. I was searching for information about what mine had collapsed near Libby, Montana, which I also saw on the USGS earthquake map. Having family and friends in Libby, I am very aware of the scandal surrounding the vermiculite mine, the cover-up, and the caustic and lasting effects from the asbestos. The health of almost everyone I know from Libby has been negatively affected. So see, here's someone reporting, you know, confirmation of that article that I shared. Anywho, the vermiculite mine was northwest of Libby, not southeast, as is the site of this collapse. Well, the collapse was actually southwest of Libby, and I didn't even say that it was the vermiculite mine. I said it was probably some old mine, so whatever. There was only one large-scale vermiculite mine there. The Pale Blue Pond is a mine tailings pond from companies that mined metals. I believe it is Asarco who currently owns that land, and they are working with the EPA on cleanup with protection to surrounding aquifers. These chemical tailings are from mining copper and silver. The numerous bare areas you see on Google Earth are not mines. Okay? There have only been 2 to 3 mines in that area of a large enough scale to be seen on Google Earth. Some of the bare areas are from forest fires, and some are from being logged and replanted. Logging has been a primary industry in Libby and northwest Montana for generations. Others are above the tree line where the altitude is too high or the mountain face is so steep that trees are usually so steep that the trees can't grow is what she means. I hope clarifying this is helpful, TK. Yeah, it is helpful. But, you know, some of the things, you know, she was implying that I didn't show it correctly, but whatever. But no, it is helpful to know about these things. But I did do a search on mining claims in the mines in that area, and there were thousands. It was like in the thousands. And so who knows what kind of mining has been done there and what kind of old mines are there and abandoned mines. And my point is that all of this is collapsing and earthquakes are coming, you know, as this happens. And so anyway, and the earthquakes will make the mines collapse, the mine shafts and all the old stuff collapse. So there's that. So that's some information. And so now I'm going to start with comments from my earthquake report from, when was this? A couple of days ago. This is from Colin Shaw. Oh, and this is where I was going over my website and showing about my spiritual warfare page and stuff. Colin Shaw says, "Hi Margo, thanks for the good info." Thanks, Colin. Hi, how are you tonight? Thanks for being here. Always interesting, a bright light in a darkening world. Spiritual warfare, because people don't see the invisible world all around us. They don't know it exists. Neither do they want to. They think the only consideration is to preserve and protect the physical self, never realizing nor exploring the spiritual universe, which is immensely far greater than the visible, which is imperative to be always conscious of and respectful to. Absolutely, Colin, and I use the metaphor of a blind man trying to cross the street. Just because he doesn't see the red light doesn't mean it's not there. And without being able to see in these realms, we're blind, and it's hard for people to accept, but we have evidence of it in lots of different ways. So thanks for your comment, Colin, and thanks for being here with us. And then Patricia Powell says, "So agree with you. My own grown sons and family do not want to hear any of this. Think it's all too crazy and not true. So it's hard not to talk about this stuff. On here it's possible and everyone understands. Blessings." Thank you, Patricia. That's why, I have this place here and, monitor it the way I do and everything. And so I appreciate you being here and your comment. And people who are not aware, they do think it's crazy because it's out of their realm of possibility. And then Rosemary Hill left the research about Kobuk, saying Kobuk, Alaska is in the middle of 3 major mining projects, green diamond shaped, with mineral coal extraction scattered all around the area. So according to this map, mining causing earthquakes. And I think she got the link a little bit confused. So I played around with it, and this is the actual link for that map, and I showed it yesterday? Yeah, I showed it yesterday, I think. So I said, "Thanks, Mary. Here's the link to the map." Rosemary. So thanks, Rosemary. And she's always doing research and coming up with interesting things and good things to bring to our group. Then this is under my climate roundup video from a couple of days ago. Dingle Jack says, "It amazes me how few people are aware of the fact that Arctic methane release is an upcoming extinction level event. It's a scientific certainty that a multi-gigaton release from the Arctic Ocean will happen, and when it does, it will be apocalyptic." Yes, meaning it's the end. It's literally the end when that happens. I'm a scientist and a very rational person, so when I had a dream the other night of watching the whole sky catching fire, which would happen in areas where methane got up to 5%, or 50,000 parts per million. I wonder if he means parts per billion on that. Anyway, it really shook me up. It was an intense and terrifying sight, at least in my dream, and woke me with a start. I wouldn't share this with anyone else, but I figured that you can certainly relate. Oh yeah. Yeah, and I said, "Thanks for sharing, Dingle Jack." I can relate, and I know a lot of other people here can relate. A lot of people are having dreams and visions about all kinds of catastrophes and earthquakes and flooding and tsunami waves and all kinds of stuff. So you're not alone, Dinglejack, and this shows your connection to the other realms, and so you're tuned in. So thanks for sharing, and thanks for being here. And then Colin Shaw, under my report from couple earthquake report. When was this? From last night, yeah. Good update, getting into the cooler months in Perth. The super greed from big business wiping out delicate animal habitats and ecosystems which formed over huge amounts of time. I'm afraid the final days are becoming more and more apparent the more we see and observe. So sad but true. Dark forces are certainly possessing humans to the point of complete illogical thinking and responsible rational behavior. We will walk on regardless, Margo, and do what God asks of us. Thanks, Margo. Thank you, Colin. That's absolutely right, and we are seeing people losing it, and they're being affected by all the darkness, and unless you're protected, you've got that protection, that divine protection from God and Jesus. It's hard. It's hard to get through this. So thank you, Colin, for your comment and for being here. Then Nostradamus wrote a poem for us. And by the way, tomorrow is his methane update. And so Nostradamus posted this poem for us, aka Dave from the UK. They ignore the storms on the horizon, they seem so far away, and refuse to acknowledge they are coming our way. Global corporations focus on growth and short-term gain. This isn't monopoly. This is not a game. It's the midnight hour, they cry, more, more, more. With a rebel yell, we cry, no more, no more, no more. It's the midnight hour, yet they want more, more, more. With a rebel yell, no more, no more, no more. There isn't any more. They just eat another burger whilst they play on their new phone and watch the destruction of this place that we call home. Unless civilization undergoes a total rebirth, we will bear witness to the extinction of all life on earth. It's the midnight hour, they cry, more, more, more. With a rebel yell, we cry, no more, no more, no more. It's the midnight hour, yet they want more, more, more. With a rebel yell, no more, no more, no more. The earth can give no more. That is so expressive, Dave, and it really touched me when I read that, and I said post it over here for us and I'll read it on my show tonight. And so thank you for sharing your inner feelings and inner thoughts and putting that together. I think it just says it all for us. Thank you, Dave. Much love. And then Tom Donaldson just left this post. Hello, Margo. Hello, Tom. Thank you again. I'm just passing on a heads up that if you haven't already read it, latest issue of Wired magazine has extensive featured article titled Nevada by the Sea by Jeff Manal. All about the Walker Lane, that prominently dominates your neck of the woods there near Reno in the Pyramid Lake area. I was talking about that last night. It's, yeah, I just didn't remember what it was called, but it's that whole line from 395 where they're saying it's all going to go underwater and that Reno's going to be seacoast property, beachfront property. And he says, I will shortly be taking off from LA to drive up US 395. I love that route and will be taking some second looks on geologically sensitive landscapes, many of which you've mentioned in your podcasts. Bless you for all of them. Best always, Tom. P.S. I'd love to buy you coffee there in Reno, but understand how busy you always are, etc. Take extra good care of yourself, promise? Thank you, Tom. Thank you for the post, first of all, and for the information, and for the invitation for coffee. I would take you up on it, but I can barely go into public, and I get sick when I go into public, and I just, I just can't do it. My life is so limited, and, I just don't talk about it a lot. I focus on what I can do rather than what I can't do. But I wish you safe journey, and, let us know what you find on the road trip, and, let's keep in touch with that. And if you've seen a bunch of changes since the last time you've been this way, let us know too. So thanks, Tom, for being here and for your comment. So on that note, let's head on over to earthquakes. I have USGS pulled up here for all magnitudes for the last 24 hours, and we're showing 241 on the map. That's high for a weekend. Of those, 32 are 2.5 magnitude and higher. So let's see what's the oldest. 5.0 Kira Solomon Islands. This came in at 8:48 last night. Okay, we've got time. I can start where I want. I'm going to start down here in South America with this 4.5 near Calama, Chile. This came in last night at 8:51 p.m., 123 kilometers deep. And a 4.3 near Ovalla, Chile at 4:23 this afternoon, 48 kilometers deep. Coming across the Pacific, down here, we've got a 4.9 feet south of Fiji Islands at 11:52 last night. Oh man. Very deep, 517 kilometers deep. 4.8 Nadoy Island, Fiji at 6:56 this morning. This one's even deeper, 617 kilometers deep. 4.5 near Hihifo, Tonga at 11:06 last night. All these times I'm saying to you are Pacific time, because that's my time zone. 5.0 Kira Solomon Islands at 8:48 last night, 79 kilometers deep. 4.6 Palui, Indonesia This came in at 6:10 tonight. Another deep one, 554 kilometers deep. Here's a 4.4 Tobelo, Indonesia. This came in today at 2:40 p.m. 78 kilometers deep. Here's a 4.6 in the Andaman Sea again, near Mohian, India, at 12:45 this morning. Oops, too far. Then here by Japan, it's a 4.4, Bonin Islands, Japan region, at 8:27 this morning. Another deep one, 479 kilometers deep. 4.6, Nishinumoti, Japan, at 12:09 this afternoon, 56 kilometers deep. And remember, the deeper they are, the more it makes the plates move across the planet. Then up here, Russia, 4.2, Dolinsk, Russia. It's actually in the ocean. This came in at 1:43 this afternoon, 367 kilometers deep. Then we've got a cluster here. We've got 5 here, all in the same area, right where this Pacific plate and North Atlantic plate meet in this like angle here. 4.8 at 3:12 this afternoon. 5.3 at 3:34 this afternoon. 4.8 at 3:46 this afternoon. 4.2 at 5:50 this afternoon. And 4.0 at 6:38 this evening. So that's all right there, starting this afternoon at 3:12. So I think that's all of the international ones we're seeing right now. So let's go to Hawaii for all magnitudes. We've got 20 here today, so that's an uptick. So let's see where most of these are. It looks like most of them are right here at Kilauea in the crater. This is the crater rim all around here. So most of these are in the crater. We've got 14 here today. And we've got 2.8, that's one of the highest ones. These are in the 2s range, high 1s and 2s. A lot of them are at negative depth, meaning that the earthquake is up in the crater, so the magma is moving. So we could see something happen here with this many here. And we saw several here in the crater yesterday too, but not 14. And 2.8 is the highest, it looks like. Let's see. I'm getting lost. Yeah. No, there was a 2.9 there. That was the highest magnitude. And then the rest of them, here's Fern Acres, 2.4, 2.8 Pahala, 1.9 Pahala, 1.9 Pahala, 2.2 Pahala. So it's all down here in this southern region. So got to keep an eye on that. Now let's move on over to Dominican Republic. We've got 6 here today. I'll call them off. 1.6, 1.9, 1.9, 3.0, 2.9, and 3.6. So those aren't big enough to do damage. It's showing movement still on that Caribbean plate. And then coming on up to Alaska, we've got 90 here today of all magnitudes. So let's see what's 2.5 and higher. Starting, we've got 5, 2.5 magnitude and higher. 3.6, Amatignac Island. Here's a 3.9, Chernabua Island. Here's a 2.7, Chignik Lake. 2.5, Cordova. 2.6, Cape Yakataga. So let's get in a little closer. Kobuk has 25 here today, so they're mining. They're more than likely, you know, doing tunneling or boring or whatever. I have no clue what all they're doing. But it's causing a lot of earthquakes. Most of them are in the 1s range. I saw a 2.2 down there. So 25, so that's a little bit lower than what we have been seeing. Then we've got a few up in the northern area. Here's a 2.2, 1.6, 1.3. Those are all near Kuktovik. Here's a 1.2 Arctic Village. Then they're coming down through the state again. These are 1's range. So here's a few 2s in the Anchorage area. Anchorage is slowed down a lot. And here's your Cook Inlet, and then Redoubt Volcano is along here, and so on and so forth. Now let's move on down. I'm not going to worry about those small ones up in Alaska. Now let's move on down into Baja. Here we've got a 4.5 near Camula, Mexico. This happened at 7:41 this morning. That would be big enough to feel. Here's a 2.1 near Progreso, Baja at 12:28 this morning. And now in Utah, all we've got is this 2.6 near Heber at 4:30 this morning at a minus 2.4 kilometer depth. So that was up in the mountain. Now coming on up into Yellowstone area, we've got 6 here today. I'll call them off. 1.1 Lima, 0.1 Polson, Montana, 0.2 Lincoln, Montana, 1.6 Challis, Idaho, 0.9 Lincoln, Montana, and a 1.1 Lincoln, Montana. Now moving on over into the Pacific Northwest, we've got a couple, and I do not have my trimmers mat pulled up. Hold on, I'll go get it. Alright, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. In the last 3 hours, there have been 2 hours of tremors primarily up here in the Seattle area, or to the west of Seattle, where we've seen them for the last few days. 2 hours of tremors out of 3 hours. That's shaking. Whole lot of shaking going on. In the last 24, oh my gosh. Look at this. This is the highest I've seen it since I've been watching this. And I'm pretty new to watching tremors, so in the last 24 hours, 11.9 hours of tremors. It's about half the time they've been shaken. And look, they're clustered. It's just clustered up here. I'm thinking this is connected with that Cascadia subduction zone. And then here's one by Portland and one further southwest of there. And then here's some by Redding. And then a couple more up here. Oh my gosh. And let's look at 48 hours. In the last 48 hours, there have been 21.4 hours of tremors. Look at that. It's kind of flipping me out. So, it's no wonder we're seeing a 2.2 near Freeland, Washington at 7:31 this morning, and a 0.7 near Desert Air, Washington at 3:38 this morning. I just think there should be more earthquakes with all those tremors going on. So here in Northern California is a 1.7 near Red Bluff and a 1.6 near Gerber. And just to review where the Oroville Dam is, it's right down here. Here's Oroville and the dam is right over here. Here's Chico, here's Paradise, where the town that burned down. And the dam is right down here that we were talking about. And this is the reservoir. This is the lake that they're measuring, and the top of the dam, the depth of the water at the top of the dam is 901 feet, and right now it's at 870 feet. So it's 30 feet from the top. And Sacramento is directly south of Oroville. A lot of people live there. So if anything happened to that dam, like this whole area in this valley here, they would be in trouble. And it could go all the way down into the Sacramento area. And that's not fear-mongering, that's just facts. So, we're living in dangerous times. So the end is coming for a lot of people. Some people sooner than others. Here's a 1.1 in the middle of Pyramid Lake, and a 0.4 on the coast of Pyramid Lake. And then here's a 0 magnitude near Truckee, and a 0.8 near Truckee. Here's a 0.7 on the east side of Lake Tahoe. Coming on down, here's a 1.3 near Hawthorne, 0.9 Gabbs. Now this is Walker Lake, And they were talking about Walker Lane. So it goes down through here. Then southern Nevada is pretty empty. We've just got 4 small ones down there. Now let's go down this east side of California. 1.2 Mammoth Lakes, 1.5 Wilkerson. Well, that's really slowed down since yesterday. Remember we saw all those here yesterday? And the last few days, that's really calmed down. Here's the Coso Junction area, and Lone Pine. We're seeing 8 here today. Mid ones and under. The largest one is this 1.6. Coming on down. What's this one? Yeah, we saw that in Yokern. Okay, Southern California has 40 here today. Let's see what's 2.5 magnitude and higher. Just this one down here in Mexico. So these are all small. They're clustering, but that's kind of a standard number that I see down here. These are, a lot of them are under 1s, but just showing movement, especially on this San Andreas fault line. 2.0 Gorman, 1.3 Fraser. Here's a 2.2 Lemoore Station, 1.6 Pinnacles, 1.5 Alum Rock, 1.9 Black Point Greenpoint. Here's a 2.3 Upper Lake, and the geysers is showing 26 here today, so that's fewer than we've seen there for a while. And most of these are under 1. Here's a 2.4. That looks like that's the highest. So I think that's a wrap. Unless something just came in. I think we got him. So I'd like to sign off for now and tell everyone I love you. And I do feel the end is very near for a lot of people. And if you've not gotten right with God and Jesus, now would be a good time. Get your spiritual houses in order and get ready to exit this planet. No one knows the day or the hour, so that's why we have to be ready. Ready and vigilant. So, until next time, God bless you. Go in peace and good night.